BMW is on the verge of one of the boldest design shifts in its entire history. The Bavarian brand is preparing to dramatically refresh the visual identity of most of its lineup, introducing the new class aesthetic, a design philosophy that is expected to shape the brand's image for years to come. The revolution began with an electric crossover. It was the first model to showcase BMW's new design language, which will gradually ripple across the company's full range. According to Munich's plans, by the end of 2027, this new visual concept will extend to an impressive 40 models within the brand's portfolio. What makes this especially striking is that the sweeping changes will apply not only to next-generation vehicles, but also to current models that are midway through their life cycle. This is a fairly unconventional move in the automotive world, where mid-cycle updates are typically far more restrained. You're watching Speed Logic. Hit like, subscribe, and let's dive in. That said, there is an important caveat. Facelifted versions of existing cars, including the performance flagship M5, will not undergo a complete transition to the new design language. Instead, their refresh will be more of a balanced compromise, an evolution of the current styling with touches of the new philosophy, rather than a ground-up redesign. And there is concrete evidence of that. Fresh spy photos of a BMW wagon prototype captured during winter testing in icy Sweden offer a glimpse of the updated BMW M5. Even though the M5 is heavily covered in layered camouflage, we can already draw some conclusions about the character of the upcoming changes. It is evident that the Bavarian super sedan, along with its wagon sibling, will not receive a full redesign from scratch. BMW's engineers and designers have opted for an evolutionary approach, focusing most of the visual tweaks on the front end. The objective is to align the M5's look with the forthcoming i3 sedan, which will serve as a major ambassador of the new class design direction. One of the most visible updates concerns BMW's signature kidney grille. Even beneath thick camouflage wrapping, it is clear that the iconic kidneys have been reduced in size compared to the current model. This has created room for a new horizontal element intended to visually broaden the front fascia and give it a sharper, more high-tech appearance. Shrinking the grille is a noteworthy decision, especially given the brand's recent trajectory. Over the past few years, BMW experimented with dramatically enlarging this defining feature, sparking divided opinions among enthusiasts. Now the pendulum appears to be swinging back, potentially signaling a deeper reassessment of the company's overall design strategy. The front lighting has also been significantly revised. Even under camouflage, it is clearly visible that the headlights have taken on a completely new shape. The change is especially noticeable in the upper section. The LED elements no longer extend upward along the hood line, as they did in the current generation. As for the rest of the body, the approach is far more restrained. The side profile, proportions, and overall structure of the M5 remain visually almost identical to the existing model. This is perfectly logical for a mid-cycle refresh, whose purpose is to modernize the look rather than reinvent the car from scratch. Still, the rear section will not remain untouched. While the general rear silhouette stays the same, the taillights will feature a new internal light graphic. In today's automotive design, lighting is a defining component of brand identity, and the updated rear light signature is expected to strengthen the visual link between the refreshed M5 and other BMW models adopting the new class styling language. Even though spy shots do not allow us to see inside the cabin, the interior updates will be just as evolutionary as the exterior changes. The refreshed M5 will gain a revised center console equipped with BMW's latest infotainment system, similar to what we've already seen in the new iX3. So, nothing radical should be expected here. On the technical side, changes will also be minimal. For enthusiasts secretly hoping for a return to a pure gasoline V8 formula without electrification, the news is not encouraging. The charging port remains in place, which confirms one thing: the twin-turbocharged S68 V8 will continue operating alongside an electric motor as part of a plug-in hybrid setup. This approach aligns perfectly with BMW's broader strategy and the increasingly strict global emission standards. The current M5 produces a combined 727 horsepower and 1,000 newton-meters of torque, making it one of the most powerful sedans and wagons available today. The updated version will maintain these impressive numbers and may even see a slight bump in output as part of powertrain refinements.
The increase will be modest, but sufficient to bring the 0 to 100 km/h sprint down to 3.4 seconds, which is more than respectable given today's standards and the car's weight. Even though camouflaged prototypes of the refreshed M5 have become a regular sight on European roads and are photographed frequently, the official global debut is still some distance away. Testing is well underway, yet a significant amount of development work remains before finalization. BMW is unlikely to unveil the facelifted G90 sedan and G99 wagon in the current 2026 year, especially since production is scheduled to begin in mid-2027. Under this timeline, the official reveal should happen roughly a year from now, most likely in the spring or summer of 2027. So, we wait.
German tuning house Novatec, famous for its bold reinterpretations of Italian supercars, has revealed its take on the Ferrari Daytona SP3, one of the most exclusive and valuable creations ever to leave Maranello. Instead of radically reworking an already ultra-rare machine, the engineers chose a far more refined strategy, enhancing the car's greatest asset, its naturally aspirated V12. The Daytona SP3 is part of Ferrari's Icona series, a line dedicated to honoring the brand's heritage through strictly limited, highly collectible models inspired by legendary racers of the past. In the case of the SP3, the design echoes iconic 1960s prototypes like the 330 P3/4 and the 412. While such collector-grade machines are usually considered untouchable, the tuning world sees even them as platforms for precision refinement. After analyzing the sculpted bodywork of the SP3, Novatec concluded that improvement was possible without disturbing its essence. The standard car is powered by a 6.5-liter naturally aspirated V12, the most powerful non-turbo engine in Ferrari's current lineup. It delivers an impressive 840 horsepower at 9,000 RPM. This engine is a genuine tribute to the golden age of naturally aspirated powertrains, when performance came not from turbochargers, but from engineering precision and raw displacement. For Novatec's engineers, however, that number was merely the baseline. With a thoroughly re-engineered high-flow exhaust system, they extracted an additional 28 horsepower, pushing total output to a formidable 868 horsepower. On paper, the increase may appear modest, but in the realm of naturally aspirated V12 engines, every additional unit of power is the result of meticulous fine-tuning. Interestingly, the visual appearance at the rear remains completely unchanged. The upgraded exhaust retains the factory dual outlets, preserving the original aesthetics. All performance upgrades are discreetly hidden beneath the bodywork, maintaining the purity of Ferrari's design. This subtle philosophy sharply contrasts with Novatec's more aggressive projects, such as the N-Largo programs, known for wide-body conversions and dramatic aerodynamic elements. With the SP3, restraint was the guiding principle. The bodywork, designed by Ferrari, remains untouched, with no added spoilers, diffusers, vents, or flared arches. The only visible alteration comes in the form of forged wheels, developed together with Vossen, sized 20 inches at the front and 21 at the rear, perfectly matching the car's stance. Notably, there is no mention of suspension recalibration, suggesting that Ferrari's original chassis tuning was already deemed near perfect. Inside, however, personalization takes center stage. Owners are offered extensive customization options, including bespoke leather or Alcantara in virtually any color combination imaginable. Seats, dashboard, door panels, headliner, and other cabin elements can all be tailored to individual preference, turning each SP3 into a unique creation. Pricing for the Daytona SP3 exists in a world beyond standard market logic. At launch in 2021, the car carried a price tag of $2.3 million, a figure justified by its exclusivity within the Icona lineup. Since then, secondary market values have surged dramatically. Of the 599 customer cars produced, plus one final special 600th example, the last unit became a headline event when it was auctioned during Monterey Car Week for an astonishing $26 million, with proceeds directed to charity. This sale underlined just how prized modern limited Ferraris have become among collectors. Given such extraordinary valuations, Novatec's careful approach makes perfect sense.
Extreme modifications could jeopardize long-term value, whereas discrete performance gains and bespoke interior enhancements only increase desirability. In this case, it is not radical tuning, but respectful refinement, and that is precisely what makes the project compelling.
Audi has officially ended production of the gasoline-powered S6 sedan. The model no longer has a clearly defined role within the brand's lineup, as the company shifts its strategy toward electrification and stronger positioning of its updated core models. The key reason behind this decision is the recent upgrade of the standard Audi A6. The base version now comes equipped with a 3.0-liter turbocharged V6, effectively eliminating the S6's former competitive edge and making a separate high-performance variant increasingly redundant. For the North American market, the standard A6 now delivers 362 horsepower from its turbocharged V6, allowing the sedan to sprint from 0 to 60 in roughly 4.5 seconds, placing it nearly on par with the outgoing S6 from the previous generation. As a result, the performance gap between the regular model and the S-badged version has narrowed to the point where maintaining both no longer makes strategic sense. Instead, Audi now offers a Sport Plus package that adds a sport-tuned suspension, a rear differential, and rear-wheel steering, effectively transforming the standard A6 into a car that closely mirrors the handling characteristics of the former S6. The disappearance of the gasoline S6 is also tied to Audi's revised global naming structure, where even-numbered designations such as A6 and S6 are now reserved exclusively for fully electric e-tron models, while internal combustion vehicles transition to odd-numbered badges. In theory, this restructuring clarifies the lineup, though in practice it has created some confusion. According to Audi, the ideological successor to the traditional S6 sedan is now the fully electric S6 Sportback e-tron, producing 543 horsepower and accelerating to 60 in just 3.7 seconds. Meanwhile, enthusiasts who prefer the character of a combustion engine will need to opt for the highest trims of the new A6 or wait for the upcoming A7, which is expected to take over the role of a performance-oriented internal combustion sedan. However, the exact future configuration of the next-generation A7 remains uncertain, as the current version is being phased out and details about its successor are still limited. In any case, the discontinuation of the gasoline S6 marks the end of an era for versatile performance sedans that once blended executive comfort with sharp dynamics, making way for a high-tech electric future and increasingly powerful standard models. BMW clearly has no intention of slowing down and continues searching for new revenue streams hidden inside its own customer base. In Munich, executives have decided that the time has come to roll out a fresh monetization framework for upcoming models. The first experiment under this strategy is the fully electric AX3 crossover. The concept behind it is straightforward yet controversial. Customers will now need to maintain a monthly subscription to unlock selected features. The AX3 leaves the factory already fitted with a full surround view camera system, yet access to it is restricted to those who activate the feature through an ongoing payment plan. The irony of this approach is obvious. The vehicle is physically equipped with all required cameras, sensors, and wiring from day one. However, the digital key that allows drivers to use those systems remains disabled until money changes hands. In practical terms, BMW installs the hardware in your car but deliberately withholds its functionality unless you subscribe. That's a bold move. Beyond the surround view system, the subscription catalog also includes the Driving Assist Pro package, which expands semi-autonomous driving capabilities, enables hands-free operation on highways, and integrates advanced safety technologies. In certain markets, such as Australia, BMW has pushed the concept even further by offering adaptive suspension activation as a paid monthly service, initially accompanied by a free trial period. Company leadership frames this strategy as a push toward flexibility. That is the official narrative. According to BMW, buyers no longer need to lock in every option at purchase, since they can activate features later when their driving needs evolve. Brand representatives also point out that maintaining these digital systems demands ongoing investment in cloud services and continuous software development, which, in their view, legitimizes recurring charges. At the same time, BMW insists it has learned from past backlash
particularly the heated controversy in 2022 when it attempted to introduce a subscription for heated seats, a move that sparked public outrage and reputational damage. This time, the company has drawn firmer boundaries. Core attributes such as drivetrain output and electric driving range will not be restricted and will remain fully accessible immediately after purchase. Small mercies. Still, the central issue remains unresolved. Will customers accept paying repeatedly for features tied to hardware that is already permanently installed in their own vehicle? That question continues to fuel debate across the industry. So, what's your take on BMW's new direction? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and let's move forward.
Chinese premium brand Zeekr keeps aggressively expanding its lineup, and the next major launch on the horizon is the new 8X crossover. Within the current portfolio, the newcomer takes on a strategically important role, positioning itself between the fully electric 7X and the flagship 9X at the top of the range. This time, the engineers and designers decided not to follow the usual template and aimed to create something more distinctive than just another predictable model. The ambition was clear, the execution, however, feels familiar. One look at the front end immediately draws attention to the massive chrome grille with vertical slats, a design cue that unmistakably echoes Rolls-Royce. It gives the car presence and a certain sense of grandeur, yet at the same time raises questions about originality. The imposing grille is supported by multi-segment LED headlights and sharply sculpted bumper lines that attempt to inject aggression into the overall look. For buyers who lean toward a sportier and more contemporary aesthetic, Zeekr offers a dedicated performance-oriented version. In that variant, chrome elements are replaced with deep gloss black trim. Dark alloy wheels paired with contrasting brake calipers enhance the visual drama, while a pronounced rear spoiler and a substantial diffuser add to the performance image. Still, the real headline sits beneath the hood. The 8X features a hybrid powertrain that combines a 2-liter turbocharged gasoline engine with no fewer than 3 electric motors. Customers will be able to choose between 2 battery packs rated at 55 or 70 kilowatt-hours, delivering a respectable electric-only driving range. The power output, however, is where things become truly outrageous. In its top specification, the system generates a staggering 1,381 horsepower. That places it squarely in hypercar territory, enabling this large crossover to deliver acceleration figures that most traditional sports cars simply cannot match. On paper, it sounds incredibly compelling. As for the interior, official imagery remains limited, yet it is already evident that the cabin will be packed with premium materials, expansive digital displays, and sophisticated AI-driven systems, exactly the kind of high-tech luxury that resonates strongly in the Chinese market. The 8X will be available in both 5- and 6-seat configurations. In the 6-seat layout, the second row receives individual captain's chairs equipped with ventilation and massage functions. In essence, the Zeekr 8X positions itself as a slightly more attainable alternative to the 9X, while preserving nearly all of its flagship-level features. The model illustrates how Chinese manufacturers are increasingly setting their own benchmarks, delivering performance and luxury levels that European brands typically price at 3 or 4 times higher. Yet one critical question remains unanswered. How will long-term quality and reliability measure up once the car reaches real-world owners? That verdict still lies ahead. If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure to subscribe so you do not miss upcoming videos, and share your thoughts in the comments about the latest trends in the automotive world. The next video is already on the way. See you soon.